Hello friends, I welcome you all to this online session of a compulsory English BA part first. In the last few sessions, we were discussing a module on making inquiries and giving instructions. We have already discussed in detail about making inquiries. We learned different language expressions and try to solve exercises on it. And afterwards, we also discuss about giving instructions. And in giving instructions, we come to know that imperative sentences is important. In structure, we require imperative sentences. And another grammar chunk that is important for giving instructions is a prepositional phrases, especially when we were giving instructions regarding the place, how to reach place. When we are giving instruction to a stranger uh, to reach to a particular place, we require a prepositional phrases. So this is what we have learned already. So in this session, let us continue with the same. Another important part before starting this content 3, that is giving extra help, you should understand that there are certain language expressions that we require, that is keep in mind, or so here are they: keep in mind, or Anju, remember to take with. So such kind of remember, memorize, or keep in mind, be cautious about, don't make, do's and don't that we learn in the last session. So we require all these kind of, or all such kind of expressions while giving instructions. So now let us start with content number 3, that is giving extra help. So after giving instructions, we many times require, as an on a humanitarian ground, to give extra help to the stranger or give extra help to the person. So in that situation, in that case, what kind of language expressions we should use? So this is what we are supposed to learn in the sub unit or sub module of the module on giving instructions and making inquiries. So let us read. In the library, we can see the books or monthly magazines on cookery, in which we can see different recipes of dishes. Let us see the following recipe of how to make a banquet style fried mushrooms. So this is what you can see. We are supposed to learn. We are supposed to read a recipe of a banquet style and fried mushrooms. So both these are uh, fried mushrooms dish we are supposed to learn. So see, heat the oil in the heat the oil in the wok with the clove of a garlic and piece of ginger. Cook for 1 to 2 minutes, stirring occasionally. Remove the garlic and ginger, add the leek and stir fry for 2 minutes. Add the mushrooms and stir fry for a further 2 minutes. Add the sea salt and half of cinnamon seeds. Sprinkle over soya sauce and toss all the ingredients together for about 1 minute. Sprinkle over remaining sesame seeds and serve on a bed of a cooked noodles. So you can see this is a pinkwit style, that is a fried mushroom. So this is a recipe. Here also, as we discussed in the last session while giving instructions, imperative tone is used, imperative sentence, imperative structure is used in this while giving extra information. So in this case, you can see directly somebody is asking to somebody to do something. Understand? This is giving instruction. So this is about the recipe. This is about the recipe. So in recipe, an expert gives you instructions about how to make or how to prepare a dish, and in that situation also imperative sentences or imperative structure becomes more important. So see, heat the oil in the heat the oil in the wok with the clove of a garlic and piece of a ginger. You can understand that this is a direct instruction to the person who is cooking this piquant stir or fried mushroom. Cook for 1 to 2 minutes. So this is direct instructions were given by the expert to the person. So and again another, see how to make a cup of coffee. See, first you need to buy some coffee and coffee maker. Then you have to put the water into the bottom of the coffee maker. You needn't boil the water, cold water is fine. Next, you have to put the coffee in the coffee compartment and screw the top of coffee maker on. After that, you need to put the coffee pot onto the stove. Then turn the stove on height and wait. Sorry, here the spelling mistake is there. Then turn the stove on high and wait. You don't have to move the coffee pot. When the water boils and goes into the upper part of the pot, then you have to remove the pot from the heat. Finally, you pour some coffee into a cup, add sugar and milk and enjoy. Here also you can see there is a specific process. So this instructor is following a specific process. So there is, you have to follow this process. If you fail to follow this process, or if you fail to follow the line of processes, then it may turn into a maze. So if we want to avoid that kind of maze, we have to follow a specific procedure. We have to follow specific steps, and for that purpose we require a specific kind of a structure. First, then, after that, when, finally, next. So these are the words that are used in this particular instruction. See, first. So what you have to do first? This is the firstly you have to buy some coffee and coffee maker. Then after first you what you have to do? Then you have to put the water into the bottom of the coffee maker. You needn't boil the water, cold water is fine. So this is a extra instruction is given here, extra for only for the caution it is given for to you. So the next, you can see next you have to put the coffee in the coffee compartment and screw the top of coffee maker on. So you can see these three instructions are there, or three steps are there. First you have to buy coffee and coffee maker. Then you have to put the water into the bottom of the coffee maker. Then you have to put the coffee in the coffee compartment and screw the top of the coffee maker. You can see these are the three steps that you have to follow. See, after that, this is the fourth step. After that you need to put the coffee pot onto the stove. So this is the fourth. In fifth, then turn the stove and high and wait. So this is the fifth step. Then again a instruction is given here, that is again an extra information given to you uh, for your more, you should be follow this. You don't have to move the coffee pot. This is the extra information given here. When the water boils and goes into the upper part of the pot, then you have to remove the pot from the heat. Finally, you pour some coffee into a cup, add sugar and milk and enjoy. Here you can see the red colored words or red colored sentences are extra information that is not the part of a procedure, but that is given for your help. And the green colored structures or green colored word that I have highlighted, you can see first, then, next, after that, then, when, then, and finally. You can see all these words maintain a logical line in the recipe. So you have to follow these steps, and after following these steps you can enjoy your coffee. So this is when you are giving instructions regarding a recipe, you have to follow such a kind of structure in which you have to follow a specific steps. First do this, second do this, third do this, and in that way you have to instruct to the person who want to make a coffee. So we will read it once again and then go for the next one. See, first you need to buy some coffee and coffee maker. Then you have to put the water into the bottom of the coffee maker. You needn't boil the water. Cold water is fine. Next, you have to put the coffee in the coffee compartment and screw the top of coffee maker on. After that, you need to put the coffee pot onto the stove. Then turn the stove on high and wait. You don't have to move the coffee pot. When the water boils and goes into the upper part of the pot, then you have to remove the pot from the heat. Finally, you pour some coffee into cup, add sugar and milk and enjoy. So this is what you can see is a recipe of a coffee, making a coffee, and you have to follow these processes, these steps. So you can understand how to give instructions about a recipe. Then see, you often see the imperative form is used in instruction manuals and when someone tells you how to do something. So imperative form is very important here. Imperative tone is very important here. We have to follow this imperative tone or imperative form. I have screened a video on imperative sentences, so you can understand. If you don't understand how to prepare an imperative sentence, go online. There are several videos, there are several worksheets online. They will help you to understand imperative sentences. So this is also a very basic kind of grammar. It is not a very uh, difficult kind of grammar. See, imperative form. Here also we are supposed to understand imperative form. See, in case of a gas cylinder leakage, what we should do? See, first of all, open all the windows and doors of the house. Then ask your children and old aged people to vacate the kitchen. Don't switch on the lights. After that, remove the knob or the regulator and make it free from the cylinder. Then bring gas cylinder in the open air and let it release the leakage gas in the open air. Don't dip or release the gas in the gutter or in the water. So you can understand that this is an instruction if you face a gas cylinder leakage. So here also the same kind of structure is followed. After, first, then, after, then, such kind of linking words were used, and this linking words shows you the steps of how to do all these things. So this is what in the case of a gas cylinder. I don't think that it is a very difficult one. It is a very easy one. Only thing is that you have to do it at your own. If you do it at your own, you can easily understand all these things. As you can understand how to make a cup of a coffee, instead of you can write at your home how to make a cup of a tea. Instead of a coffee maker and coffee and all these things, you can also write a instruction or a recipe how to make a cup of a tea. So this is what you can see is the important thing that we should keep in our mind while giving instructions. Then dialogue for giving instructions. See, Prafulla, how do you operate this treadmill? Stop. First, turn it on, then set the controls of for speed, distance or time. Then press the start button. Prafulla, can you show me how to hold the putter? First, grasp the club with your left hand. Your thumb should be pointed down and parallel to the shaft. Next, put your right hand below your left hand with your right pinky finger touching your left index finger. Grip the shaft by placing the palm your right hand over your left thumb. Your right thumb should also be pointed down and parallel to the shaft. So this is a small dialogue or small conversation between Prafulla and a staff of a gym. Prafulla is asking to a staff regarding the use of treadmill. So how to use a treadmill? Otherwise, if we fail to use a treadmill or if you fail to follow the instructions of a staff, you may fail on your teeth, so or on your face, and you may lose your tooth also. So this is very dangerous kind of thing. So you have to strictly follow the instructions of a staff. See, Praful is asking question, how do you operate this treadmill? Staff staff says, first turn it on, then set the controller for speed, distance or time. So he is giving just the instruction. Then press the start button. So this is what he gives you the instructions regarding. Then Praful asks again another question. Here also you can see he is asking for extra help. So see how he is giving extra help. See, first grasp the club with your left finger. So this is what first. Your thumb should be pointed down and parallel to the shaft. So you can understand that these instructions also follow the same kind of structure that we see in the recipe, that we see in the a person and a stranger giving instructions regarding the place. So you have to follow this imperative sentences. You should follow the process, you should follow the steps, you should give the instructions regarding what should be done first, what should be done next, and you should follow this logical line. Then see the next dialogue. uh, do you know how to make a paper kit? This is the puja. Stop saying, sure. First get two thin strips of light weight blaze wood, one 3 feet and another 2 feet long. Next, join the strips forming a diamond shape. Then glue large sheets of paper onto the twin and wooden strips of wood across cross to form the T. So this is what we can see is a conversation between another conversation between a staff and puja. Staff is giving instruction to how to make a paper kit. So this is what you can see in this. Through this dialogue also we understand how to give the instructions. In both these instruction you can see, or before even speaking about these dialogues, before that even while making the recipe of a tea, the recipe of a coffee, and uh, other how to use a treadmill, you can see there are certain do's, but there are also certain don'ts. So what should be done and what should be avoided. So you have to give this to give such kind of instructions to the person. So see, to make a negative imperative, put do not or don't. So if you want to negative imperative, if you want to say don'ts while making coffee, you should prescribe certain don'ts. So in that case, you have to use do not or don't. So before the verb. So don't is more informal than do not. So this is for example, don't go, do not walk on the grass. So this is what you can see, do not is used for a negative imperative. Useful verbs for instruction. See, turn off, switch off. So there are several verbs that we should understand or that we should memorize to give the instructions. Turn off, switch off, sorry, negative power of electricity. So deactive power of electricity. For example, turn off the lights when you leave, or take off or remove. See, detach something from another thing. Remove the plastic before you put the cake in the microwave. Proceed or continue. See, proceed, you are on the right track. Soon you will find out the solution. See, proceed, continue, take off, remove, turn off, switch off, or put back or replace. You can see such a kind of verbs we require to use when we were giving the instructions. And these verbs we require very frequently. So you memorize these verbs and try to use it. When you give instructions, you can help other person with extra information and advice. So this is what you can see, giving extra help to the person to whom you are instructing. So we will stop here and continue the same in the next session with certain more expressions about giving extra information and advice. Thank you for listening.